If you're just doing machine-assisted pull-ups or a weekly back day to get your first full unassisted pull-up, you will never get one. I'm going to give you my exact program, the one that got me from 0 to 10 full unassisted pull-ups in the next 60 seconds. Then I'll explain why every part of it works. Let's get into it. You're going to do 3 to 4 full body sessions per week, and this is what it might look like. Because you're doing full body sessions, your warm-up will be the same every time. Full body mobility with non-negotiables of thoracic rotations and band pull-aparts, 10 each, and then 3 sets of 8 scapular pulls. The main session will always start with pull-up practice. On 2 sessions a week, your freshest days, you do 3 to 4 sets. On the other sessions, you do 1 set. We're going for banded pull-ups over machine pull-ups because you'll have to work harder, so you'll progress faster. I personally like to set them up like this instead of having the band hanging down like this because it's easier to get into the movement. For the negative pull-ups, you want to jump up into the top position and then slowly lower yourself down, ideally for 5 seconds. After your pull-up practice in each session, you'll do your full body training as normal, hitting all 7 movement patterns. I break this down in depth in these videos, so have a watch of them if you haven't already and you want a better understanding of how to select your exercises for the remainder of your sessions. Just make sure that you don't program any more vertical pulling because that is all covered with your pull-up practice. And then every single session ends the same way with the hanging hollow hold to failure. Hang from the bar, legs slightly forward and your core engaged. Hold until you drop and track the time so you can try and beat it every week. The entire program is on screen now, so make sure that you screenshot it if you want it. Now, let me tell you why every single part of that program is in there, because if you don't understand the why, you will not stick to it for long enough for it to work. Most people think that they can't do a pull-up because they're not strong enough, but that is almost never true. Pull-ups are a skill and skills improve with frequent practice, which is why this program has you on the bar 3 to 4 times a week, not once. High frequency and low volume is how skills are built. If you wanted to learn how to play the guitar, you wouldn't practice once a week. And if you did, it would probably take you a very long time to learn. Pull-ups are the exact same. Another thing a lot of people miss in their pull-up training is scapular pulls. Every warm-up, you're going to be doing 3 sets of 8. Watch what's happening here. I'm hanging from the bar, passive, shoulders up by my ears. Then I pull my shoulder blades down and back without bending my arms. That's the start of every pull-up. If you can't do that, you cannot initiate the movement. Most people trying to get their first pull-up are missing this skill. They jump on the bar, try to yank themselves up with their arms, and then they stall. That isn't because you're not strong enough to pull yourself up. It's because the first 6 inches of the movement don't come from your arms. They're coming from your scapula. Train that separately in every single warm-up and it will unlock the first part of the movement. For the pull-up practice itself, you're going to be doing 2 variations, banded pull-ups and negative pull-ups. Equal parts of both throughout your training. They train completely different things, so you need both. Banded pull-ups train the concentric part of the movement, which is the pulling up portion. The band takes some of your body weight off so you can practice the actual pattern of pulling yourself up to the bar with proper form. Your lats learn how to fire, your scapula learns how to retract, and your core learns how to hold tension. Start with the thickest band you've got, and if you're doing it my way, something to note is that the higher the band is, the more it will help you. Aim for 5 to 8 clean reps. As you get stronger, you progress by dropping to a thinner band or reducing the height of the band. Negatives are the opposite. You jump up to the top position, chin over the bar, and lower yourself down as slowly as you can. This trains the eccentric part of the movement. You're always stronger eccentrically than you are concentrically, which means you can handle your full body weight on the way down long before you can lift it on the way up. So negatives let you load the movement with your body weight and start building the strength to control it. So banded pull-ups teach you the pattern under reduced load. Negatives teach you to control your body weight on the lowering phase. One without the other leaves gaps, and that is where your progress will stall. That's why this program has you doing equal parts of both every week. If you can't yet lower yourself down with control for at least 3 seconds on a negative, if you just drop, do banded negatives instead. It's the same movement, but you have a band under your feet to take some of your body weight. And then you can work towards an unbanded negative as your eccentric strength builds. Now, why are we training full body and not a body part split? If you train back once a week, you are practicing the pull-up pattern once per week. And that is just not enough exposure for a skill that you're trying to build from scratch. A bro split just isn't the most optimal tool for trying to learn a new skill, especially a skill as challenging as a bodyweight pull-up. Full body training 3 to 4 times per week means pull-up practice 3 to 4 times per week. You end up doing a similar total volume across the week, but it's just spread out so you can push yourself harder and recover faster. But even if you do everything that I've spoken about so far in this video, pull-ups are not guaranteed unless you do this last step, which is of course progressive overload. Most people think that progressive overload is adding weight to a movement, but if you can't yet do a single body weight pull-up, adding weight to the exercise is not really going to help you. So how do you overload? There are 5 ways. 1, the band gets thinner. 2, your negatives get slower. 3, your hanging hollow hold gets longer. 4, the weight on your other pulling exercises goes up. Stronger pulling muscles overall means the body weight pull-up gets relatively easier when you test it. And 5, you test a clean body weight rep every 2 to 3 weeks. Not every session, you'll just end up getting frustrated with yourself. Do it every 2 to 3 weeks and when you're feeling your freshest, so ideally straight after your warm-up. If those 5 things are happening, you will be progressing, even when it doesn't feel like it. So remember that pull-ups are not a strength test, they are a skill and they're trainable. If you want the printable version of this program with everything laid out for you, the link's in the description, and of course it is free. Drop a comment and let me know where you're starting from, and I'll see you in the next one.